In real time, most all EVPs cannot be understood or heard by human ears. When listening to the recordings, unusual sounds are captured. It turned out these unusual sounds are spirits talking. We concluded spirits are not in our realm of time. All enhanced audio playback is raw. We do not use special software. We replay the audio through devices and use audio filters searching for the proper frequency of the spirit. We learn when spirits talk, each voice is not on the same frequency level or in our realm of time. After digitally enhancing old recordings and slowing down the audio, some captions are X'd out and replaced. All my life I have lived in big cities where there's just constant noise, sirens, lots of traffic, shootings. I have never lived in small towns. In fact, Carmel, Maine is the smallest town I ever lived in. When we made the decision to move to Carmel, Maine, I was thinking to myself, this is going to be a nice, peaceful, quiet life. Well, I don't think so. Son of a bitch! We will go back to re-examine all the footage from the very beginning. Never before seen video captures of amazing paranormal encounters, in-depth details of what took place in this house, and how these spirits led me down a path into believing in the paranormal. This is what happened in the very beginning. We decided once we moved here, we were going to go ahead and live in the camper to save money and eventually get a house. I took on a job at a restaurant. I quickly worked my way up to restaurant manager and worked a lot of hours. And because of the long hours and working a lot of times 7 days a week, time went by so fast. We ended up living in the camper for 2 years because we were both busy working. My wife and I were both busy working. After the second winter, we decided we were not staying in that camper again. It was brutal. We decided when summer came, we were going to find a house for rent somewhere in Carmel and move into it. My wife told me that a house came up for rent next to the mini mart where she worked. She said it was a small old house, and we decided to go ahead and rent it. Now, I never saw the house inside. I never saw the house until the owner of the house handed us the keys, and I came into the house, and that was the first time I ever saw the inside of this house. Joshua and Gary also moved in with us. They were staying with our older daughter, Crystal. I take the day off from work so we can get moved into the house. I was really tired that night after unpacking and moving heavy furniture, and it was just very, very exhausting. So I went to bed that night, and I ended up waking up late, and I was running late for work. I had to open up the restaurant. I had the keys to the restaurant, and I had to be there at a specific time. So I was quickly getting dressed as fast as I could, getting ready to go out the door. While I was getting dressed, a little knick-knack horse that was sitting on the dresser flew off the dresser and landed on the bed right in front of me. And I said, okay, that's a little strange. Thinking this was an old house, I set the knick-knack horse back there and started bouncing around, seeing if I can get it to budge, and it didn't move. I remember going downstairs while I was running out the door, telling my wife that there was something strange that happened. That little knick-knack horse on the dresser flew off and landed on the bed right in front of me. And I was jokingly telling my wife, I guess this house is haunted. But I wasn't serious. After a few months in this house, my son and Gary started telling me there's strange things going on in this house. Gary would say, now Gary stayed alone in the house every day. And he was telling me that he keeps hearing voices and people talking and footsteps through the house. He would come down and check, to see who came into the house, and nobody was there. This got to the point it scared him so much, he would go hang out at the mini mart with my wife because he was afraid of this house. Then Joshua started having experiences. Now, in all honesty, I was having experiences myself, but I wasn't really saying too much about it because I assumed maybe all of this was in my head.
Hey, give it back to me. Isn't that coat flammable?
Yep.
Isn't that coat flammable?
Yeah. It is.
Yeah. It is.
Using your heat wise. Just isn't worth it. Pulls up like a little.
Some of the experience I had, like I'd get up and go to the bathroom at night. And there's only one bathroom in this house, so I'd have to get out of the bed and walk all the way down the steps through the dining room into the bathroom. And I remember multiple times, I really felt like somebody was watching me. I would walk out of the bathroom through the dining room, and as I'm coming up towards the steps, I would hear a female voice behind me. Now I'd turn around real quick and like, what the heck was that? There's other times while in the house, for instance, while I'm doing dishes, I would definitely hear a female talking. I would turn around and look in the kitchen. I'd go into the living room and ask my wife, did you say my name? And she said, no. I said, did you hear that voice? And she goes, I didn't hear anything. And I said, I swear I heard a female call my name out. This wasn't coming from outside. This was literally inside the house. I started noticing a lot more voices, a lot more sounds in this house that were very abnormal. Now, I never lived in a house this old, so I thought, well, maybe this is just an old house and it makes this kind of sounds and it's just creepy. We had to cut the box spring in half just to get it up these steps because these steps are so narrow. Yeah. So had to cut the box spring in half and then modify it and put it all back together. This is about, I don't know, this house makes strange noises, I notice. It's making a strange noise now. One night, a loud bang woke me up. I got up, I went downstairs, and I was just sitting there on the couch listening. And I started hearing some weird sounds. This is before I even believed in the paranormal. I turned my cell phone camera on just to try to capture these strange sounds. I'm like, what is this? Now, the house was making creaking sounds, but it was all over the house. You couldn't tell exactly which direction it was coming from. And while these creaking sounds were happening, I would hear these voices. Some of them were very faint, but I can hear them. But then some of them were like whispers, and other voices were like somebody was talking so fast that it was more of a winding sound than it was an actual voice. For 3 years, we were experiencing a lot of strange stuff in this house. I ended up getting injured. And because of the injury, I couldn't work. Now I was home in this house full time. Before, with all the hours I worked, I didn't spend a lot of hours during the day in this house, but what time I did spend in this house, I noticed a lot of strange things that just didn't sound right.
And I heard something really strange in this room.
Joshua and Gaz was telling me that people told them that they lived in this house once, and the house is definitely haunted. Gaz and Joshua was trying to convince me the house is haunted. I had a lot of questions about it, but I did not believe in ghosts. I did not believe in the paranormal. In my opinion, if something was going on, it was probably demonic. Therefore, I ignored it. And I also thought a lot of it could have been my imagination. Therefore, I ignored it. But after I was injured and spent full time in this house, that's when I started noticing a lot more going on. The voices were just nonstop. The footsteps through the house, doors opening and closing. Now, my wife was working full time still, and Joshua ended up moving to Florida, him and Gary. So it was just myself in this house alone. And then later on, my daughter and my grandson moved in here. One night, while sleeping in bed, loud footsteps coming up the stairs. And I'm not talking stomping loud. I'm talking the stairs popping and crackling loud. And that sound was coming closer and closer to the door. And then it passed the door and was in the room. Now, it woke me up. I heard the floor crackling all the way to my bed. And then I heard the female voice said, "Help me." I sat up in bed real fast, and I looked at the back of my wife's head. My back was turned to the closet. I looked at my wife's head, and I was thinking, okay, she was talking in her sleep. So I laid my head back down, and I was staring at the back of her head to make sure that, you know, if she is talking in her sleep, I want to know that it's her and I'm not hearing things. Suddenly there is this tapping on my hip, and the female voice then says, "Help me, Kent." Well, I sat up in bed really fast. I mean, this really scared the crap out of me. I knew right then and there, okay, this is not my wife talking. This is not normal. Something is going on in this house. The next day, I started taking pictures and started recording. to see if I can capture whatever was going on recording to make sure that this wasn't in my head.
Are you here? Hello? Are you here? The lady that said help me? Hello? Right. I heard a couple of voices.
Took a lot of snapshots, and in the snapshots, we did see some strange things we could not explain. I started paying attention to what was going on. That's when I started noticing a lot more, and I started recording. All right, show early clips. Once I verified okay. When I first picked up a camera and started recording these strange events taking place in this house, I didn't know anything about the paranormal. In the beginning, it was all about capturing these strange events. At first, I didn't care what these spirits said. I only wanted them to respond to my
Hello? 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 Hello?
I didn't know how to start up a conversation with a ghost. But what I didn't know at the time, I was getting ready to go down a rabbit hole of events that would shake the very foundations of my soul. What happened in the very beginning? Who's the lady, the female that woke me up in the night and said, help me? And then she said, help me, Kent. Who was that? Hello? I just heard your voice. What'd you say? I just now heard knocking. Who's with you? What's their name? Can you show yourself in an orb? Doors opening and closing. Can you show yourself in an orb? Okay, now you see it. Anybody here today? Was that you? Hello? Just heard banging upstairs. What the hell? Hello? Hello? What? Hello?
Hello? Hello? Hello? I thought I heard somebody say hi. Hope you're real happy with making the noises. Hello? What in the hell is that weird sound? Hello? Hello? Alright. Did you tell me to shut up? Hello? What the hell? What? Hello? Hello?
I wasn't even 100% sure I believed in the afterlife at this point. And after a while, you just have a lot of doubts that a God even exists, that there's a heaven or a hell. You just doubt it because you never saw evidence of it. Even though you want to believe, you try to believe. I mean, let's face it. We are going to die. If there's one thing we are guaranteed in this life, the only thing we're guaranteed in this life is we are going to die. We can't get out of that. It's going to happen. So you want to believe in something and have hope. When you lose a loved one, you want to believe something that gives you hope that you're going to see them again one day. So believing in the afterlife, believing that we live on, that's a hope that we hold on to. We survive with that hope. But in all honesty, I never had proof there's an afterlife. I had a lot of doubts. There is nothing that showed me ghosts exist.
Hello?
But now I'm starting to believe. I'm starting to see things that is supernatural. I wanted to record it. I wanted to capture it. I wanted to show my family and friends what was going on in this house. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anything about the paranormal.
Supermoon tonight. Supermoon. Does that mean anything to any of you? Well, you stay out here on the porch. What the hell is that? Whoa. Whoa. What is that frickin' growling noise? Are you good or bad?
I wanted to know what was going on. I was very curious because I still had a lot of doubt what this was. Is this demonic or are these actually ghosts? So I started doing a lot of tests. I started asking a lot of questions. I spent hours upon hours recording, trying to figure this out. How do you start a conversation with a ghost? I mean, what do you say? I didn't know. The only thing I could say is, hello? Was that you? Can you say my name? Can you knock? Can you touch this? Can you do that? Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you? I pissed them off. These spirits were actually pissed because I was treating them like they were stupid. set this up here, but hello? I know a lot of people say that for the most part, ghosts are confused. They don't understand things. I don't know if they encountered ghosts that were confused, but I can tell you, the spirits in this house, the departed ones, they are not confused. They are not dumb. They know exactly what's going on. They know who they are. They know what happened to them. And that's what really blew me away. When I started noticing I was treating them wrong, basically having them do tricks to give me something to capture on camera, I changed the way I was talking to them. And I began to get down more on a personal level with them, trying to figure out who they are and what happened to them. Who's in here? Where's Wayne? Are you guys okay? Did you say something? Freaking stairs. Did you say something? Is there anything you can say to verify that you're here? Is that you? Were you needing help? Well, what's wrong? Why are you needing help? You're dead? Did you just say you're dead? Who's walking up here? Who's walking? What? I heard that. Hello? Why are you looking at me funny? Kitty, did you see who's doing that? What? Boy, did I hear that. Without even thinking about the consequences, I end up doing something really stupid. I hear you guys talking, but why don't I ever see you guys? Why all the voices, but yet you never appear in front of me? I don't even know what you are. Why don't you just start appearing in front of me so I can see you? Alright? Still shot pictures just don't cut it. I don't even know if I believe it. I'm full of doubt now. Full of doubt of what you are. So why can't you just appear? After I dared these spirits to appear in front of me, things started changing real quick. Hello? Can you guys talk? Oh, I don't think so. Son of... Son of... What the hell? What the hell? The hell is that? Hope you guys say something or do something. Oh my God! No! What the hell is that noise? Son of a bitch! My oldest son, Michael, had been watching a lot of these recordings, and he talked to me about getting a PSB-7 spirit box. I didn't know anything about spirit boxes. Didn't know how they worked, didn't even know what they were used for. I ended up watching a few paranormal shows to find out about the spirit box. In all honesty, I wasn't big on using a spirit box. In my opinion, to me, it wasn't credible evidence of the paranormal. I also did some reading. There's a university out of the UK that they said they debunked a spirit box, that it does not work. There's no proof that a spirit box can be used for paranormal investigations and that spirits use them. Well, my son ended up sending me a PSB-7 anyway. I got the PSB-7 in. I hooked it all up. When I tested it out, I wasn't recording the very first time. I was just curious and was testing it. And when I heard a female voice say, "Hi, Kent," very clear in it, I was like, okay, you know what? I definitely heard that. I started using the PSB-7, but I felt like there was a lot of radio chatter mixed in with what was possible captures of EVPs. Anybody want to talk right in here? Where is everybody? I hear disembodied voice. I decided to go ahead and run it just as fast as you can run it on 100 milliseconds. When I did that, I didn't hear anything. When I went back to view the recording and heard what was captured, I was in shock. I was in complete disbelief because what was captured, I did not hear those voices during the recording in real time. Although I still had some doubts that lingered about the spirit box, something happened during a spirit box session that laid these doubts to rest once and for all. What was captured convinced me spirits do use the static energy coming from this device. I found what this spirit said was quite disturbing. And if you're not good, and you're evil, your day in hell is coming. I knew right then and there that these spirits in this house were able to use the spirit box in order to communicate. The spirit box became a major tool in trying to find out what these spirits are trying to tell me. Is there anybody here? Who's here tonight? Can you guys talk with me tonight? Are you good or bad? I don't know why, but I've got fear all over me. I don't know why. Going out here doesn't help. Why are you at this house? Hello? Do you like the cat? old are you, Rachel? Getting another camera set up. I shut this off for a second because I'm hearing a lot of disembodied voices right up next to me. Who's in here? Hello? Can you tell me who you are? What's your name? Hello? Who's in here tonight? Who's in here? Something happened in this house. Something happened that was so hideous that it left a lot of residual energy here, and I believe there's the ghost of a female crying out for help. It was that bad. I don't know what happened yet. I'm not sure what happened, but I do know something did happen. I believe that there was a man that once lived in this house that had a serious attitude problem and probably did something horrible either to his wife, daughter. Something happened. These are the only conclusions I can come up with based on the stuff that I'm hearing, and it's all coming together now that something went on in this house back in the day. Is the reason why there's paranormal activity here is because something's trying to get our attention, that somebody needs help? Or is it residual energy where they're crying out for help back in the day? Something's not right. After a few months of doing recordings and listening to what was captured, and then after using the spirit box, I was starting to learn more names. One of the names that kept coming up was Rachel, Anna, Naomi. Back then, in the beginning, I had no idea who these people were, or why they were even here, and why their names were even mentioned. All right, so, I tried to do a brief walk around this house. What you got? Little by little, I started piecing together that something terrible happened to some of these females. Anna, I never did find out about her, but Rachel, Naomi, I did find out what happened to them. Although I started capturing a lot of evidence and started piecing together what these spirits were saying, I still had a lot of distrust. I still wasn't sure about this paranormal activity. I didn't know what it was. I still had a lot of questions. Are these actual ghosts? Or is this just all demonic? What was going on here was beyond anything I've ever witnessed in my life. There was a side of me that was so scared what was going on. I wanted to shut this all down. But then there was a side of me that was so curious, I had to know. Everything went from capturing the evidence on recording to now picking up the camera to start doing investigations to figure out what this is, to figure out what's going on. There was enough going on here and enough captured on camera that I had no doubt that the paranormal's real. I passed the phase of trying to prove to myself that it's real. And now it was time to dig in and investigate. This is when I started asking more questions, digging deep into what's going on in this house and who these spirits are. It was amazing going back looking at these first recordings that I ever done in this house. There was a lot of stuff I missed in the beginning. I found it amazing that Abby was brought up in the beginning before I even knew about Abby. One of the most common phrases these spirits said was, "Help me." They informed me they were dead. Hello? Most wouldn't understand what a person's mind goes through when a spirit calls you out by name asking for help. Voices echoing from beyond the grave seeking help from the living. What do they want? What happened to them? Who are they? Why are they here? And what the hell do they want from me? I didn't even believe in the paranormal. I just wanted to finish my life out in peace and quiet. But our paths have crossed. It's too late to turn back now. And now that I'm listening, they tell me things.